Hi, this is Tai Pan for Shanzai.com, and we're here today with yet another tablet review for you. Today we're looking at a 7-inch Lanpad that includes a VIA processor, the 8505, with actually 256 megabits of RAM, which is probably a bit more RAM than we've seen in most of the devices that we've reviewed so far. The device is the typical unibody design that we're starting to see on a lot of the different products. Again, we're big fans of this particular design because it does make a nice, very consumer look and feel. Keeps the product really small and slim and light, which is great. And if we take a little bit of a walk around the device, you'll be able to see some of the buttons and things that we've come to expect with this design as well. So taking a run around the outside of the device to get a look at a little bit of the I/O, you can see here on the end where most of that resides, we've actually got the 2-speaker exit wounds where they're letting the sound out of the device. We've also got the SD card slot, which we put in our SD card and our test contents on there now. There's a port for connecting your power supply, of course, and your earphone. The microphone is hiding up here. There's a little pinhole up on the top of the edge of the device. But you'll see there's a big wide I/O connection here, and that's for a proprietary I/O connection from the Lanpad makers that is to connect a dongle to the device. And the dongle, at first I thought was a little bit of a weird concept, but then as I started playing with it a little bit more, the dongle includes USB connection outs, 2 of them, which is nice to have, full-size USB connectors, and it also includes an Ethernet port connection. Sometimes, I guess, if you're just couch surfing or sofa surfing and you want to be connected directly into your Ethernet for the fastest internet connection possible, that might make a lot of sense for some people. So it's not a big deal. It's a kind of an interesting looking little a piece of hardware unto itself. Just slides into the product on the end there quite simply, like so. So having that around probably at your desk or at your sofa at home is probably not a problem. I think actually that's not so bad. Looking around the top of the device, you can see we've got the menu button as well as the rocker left and right switch, which will provide volume up and down and a few other adjustments for various applications that are mapped to that. And on the very end of things here, we've got our last external button, which is the power button. It's a dedicated power button that turns the device on and off. I really like that myself. It makes it much easier to power down your device when you're ready to flick things off in a hurry. Looking at the front face of the device, now this particular one is a demo unit that's been passed around more times than a joint at a reggae concert, so you'll have to forgive the beat-up look and feel of it, but it does have a power indicator to let you know that the power is on or going, and when you're charging the device, it also does indicate in red, so you know and can confirm that you're actually charging your device. Comforting little touches like that are nice. What you might not be able to see so well on the camera there is there's also a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, which is good for things like video conferencing or taking pictures of vanity shots of yourself with your little tablet. And, of course, the ubiquitous main button that you would find on even an Apple iPad. This time, we've actually seen the product have it accurately mapped. It takes you back to the home screen when you use that button, and we like to see that. A couple of devices we looked at earlier had kind of weird mappings of the I/O and buttons, but these ones seem to make really quite good sense for ours. So moving on from the externals and the hardware and the look and feel of the device, let's check out the software side of things. One of the nice things about this review unit that we received, it already had a lot of applications loaded, basically set up for your average Gmail user. I was able to log in with my Gmail account and set up Gtalk and Gmail accounts very quickly and very easily. There's an array of software, as I said, already included, which also includes the Magic Album, they're calling it, on the device, which is basically a nice little screen here that you could use to prop up the device and use it as your de facto clock radio, weather. It's got links off here to different other applications on the device, so if you want to listen to your music or quickly go check out your photo album, you can do so directly from this sort of pseudo home screen. It's kind of like a HTC Sense does to Android. These guys have done this to the Lanpad. And actually, I quite like this, and some people might say it's not practical, but I think you got to charge these things often, and you got to charge them all night. You may as well plug it in and use it as a little bit of a clock radio type device while it's sitting beside your bed. So, you know, I'm always with my Lanpad in bed. Anyway, moving on from the Magic Pad home screen there, we've also got, I guess, an array of some of the typical stuff we've shown you before. Let's get into some kind of the stuff that shows off the video performance. This device actually has 2 sort of sides to its video story. One is unfortunately a rather disappointing story with the local video. The SD video that we were loading onto the device, which we did from our, that we did through our SD card that we added onto the device, our typical booth babe video that we like to show off for you guys, We weren't able to get it to actually play those video files. It did recognize them, but it's not playing any 480 or 720p versions of any of the files that we showed. You can see that as it fires them up, sometimes it plays the audio, but it won't play the video. And sometimes it says it doesn't recognize the video, which is unfortunate, and those are very typical formats that we're using. But then afterwards, it does actually show the video, but just as a frame. It doesn't really, it struggles to play those videos, so unfortunately that's sort of a bit of a disappointment on the device. But on the flip side of that, it also has one of the better YouTube implementations that we've seen actually. And I would have to say, the interface here looks a little bit better than some of the ones we reviewed. Some of them look a little bit balder than this one, and this one seems to kind of lay out quite nicely with all of your different categories here. It doesn't really look like YouTube, to be honest, but it gives you, the YouTube pulls up the videos quite easily. And let's play something here from the video selection here. Do we got anything that looks kind of exciting here? Some of these videos look kind of not that exciting. How about World Cup champion Spain? Get a little bit of football action for those of you still craving your football. So what you're seeing here is actually very good YouTube video performance. This is one of the things that really impressed us about the device. And I know people won't be happy with the other video performance we showed, but really the fact is, probably on small devices like this with limited amounts of memory, really if you can, you probably would be watching a lot of the YouTube stuff for most of your content. To kind of wrap things up for the Lanpad, I guess we could just say we're a little bit disappointed in the battery life and of course the fact that the video on the local device doesn't play so well. We were really impressed with the YouTube video on the other hand, which kind of makes for an interesting choices for you as a consumer, what how you're going to be using the Lanpad. The Magic Photo background was really nice. We're actually quite impressed with the dongle piece, which we were a bit surprised about. Overall design with this unibody we've seen from others, it makes it nice and sturdy, has a nice, good consumer-looking feel to that. You won't be embarrassed in the coffee shop holding that in your hand by any means whatsoever. Good key mapping, and really for a $120 range, which we've seen this for out on the internet, I would say that's probably not bad value for money.